our culture is competitive, man.
Right.
It is, but I think when it goes past the music itself to blocking things in business, then I don't understand that. Like right now, he's not even competing for a slot. You don't have a new song out that he want to be on the top 10 or top 5, and you still competing. It don't make sense.
There are horrible things that happen every day, whether it be in the industry or not, mentally, emotionally, financially.
First of all, that vote is fake that's not a real vote. That's not a real vote. They give it to who they want to give it to. They give it to their darlings.
Cowboy Carter. Beyonce.
It's the price you pay, when you're early in your career, you feel that you have to listen. And when you buck, they buck harder and they make threats. And those threats are huge ones.
Welcome back to New Viral Drama, where the smoke behind the spotlight finally gets exposed. 50 Cent and Eminem just teamed up, and they're not holding nothing back when it comes to Jay-Z and Beyoncé. The heat they're throwing? Serious. We're talking about wild claims, like award rigging, stealing from black creatives, and straight up crushing anyone who stands in their way. 50's out here claiming Jay's been low-key sabotaging his business deals, pulling strings in silence like he's running a shadow empire. Meanwhile, M's been dropping cryptic bars lately, and fans swear he's hinting at shady executives controlling the game from the shadows. He's not naming names, but the clues?
When you're not competing for those things anymore, and you start looking and you're going, so what was the problem? You can't exactly remember what the problem. That's what went through with Joe.
Way too close for comfort. And let's talk Beyonce. She's not dodging this firestorm either. Folks are saying she's been taking credit for work that ain't even hers. Writers, producers, entire vibes, snatched with no recognition. But it doesn't stop there. Rumors are flaring that Queen Bee has been freezing out other major women in music. Names like Aaliyah, Mia, Carrie Hilson, and even Mary J. Blige are getting brought up. Allegedly, if you were seen as competition, you were pushed out the way. It's turning into a pattern folks can't ignore anymore. And here's where it really gets messy. Jay and Bey's tight connection to Diddy is getting side-eyed again. Even though Jay dodged that Jane Doe lawsuit, whispers say the woman involved got scared off after some unknown figure showed up at her door. Now people are asking, was that just a coincidence or a warning? With all this coming out, people are seriously questioning, are Jay-Z and Beyoncé true icons, or are they just elite-level puppeteers playing everyone from behind the curtain? Stay locked in. This storm is far from over. Do 50 Cent and Eminem really know what's going on behind the scenes? Because if what they're hinting at is true, then a whole lot of careers, and maybe even lives, got wrecked while Jay-Z and Beyoncé climbed to the top. Let's dive into this mess.
Look, Jay-Z and them was putting it together. So I think they still harbor some energy towards me.
You think you were purposely left out of the ad?
No.
Okay.
I don't think. I think that they were saying the NFL had some issues with me that I don't know what those issues are. Like, what is the issue? You start looking at that's not mine. That's theirs. They harbor it, right? But when you look at M is looking at the entire legacy.
Yeah.
The whole thing, like with M, Dre, and myself, like that. I'm a shady aftermath. You see what I'm saying? Like, it do so much G-Unit Records.
Right.
They forget that I'm M and Dre's artist.
For the longest time, Jay and Bey were untouchable, music royalty. You couldn't question them without getting called a hater, bitter, or just plain jealous. But now, that perfect image is cracking right in front of us, and more insiders are finally speaking up. And leading that charge, none other than 50 Cent and Eminem. It's no longer quiet whispers, it's full-blown exposure time. Let's start with 50 Cent. He's been coming at Jay-Z hard, calling him insecure, petty, and even jealous. And 50 ain't just talking. He says he's got proof. Back in 2023, he revealed that Jay tried to block his Super Bowl performance by flexing his NFL connections, trying to pull some slick backdoor move. But here's where it all backfired. Eminem stepped in and said, "No 50, no Slim." That one line flipped everything. Suddenly, Jay's behind-the-scenes tactics got dragged into the light, and it exposed just how far he's willing to go to keep control. That wasn't just a personal feud. It was a peek into a much bigger power struggle happening in the industry right now. Fast forward to a wild moment on Talk with Flea, Cameron hosting, and 50 Cent did not hold back. He doubled down and dragged Jay-Z's name through the mud again. This time, he wasn't just talking about music. He accused Jay of playing dirty across the whole business world. And here's where it gets spicy. 50 asked the question everyone was thinking. If Jay-Z already built his empire, already got the legacy, the billions, the wife, the fame, why is he still allegedly out here sabotaging 50's moves? Just for spite? That's a different level of petty. But wait, it gets deeper. 50 and Eminem are now linking up with a purpose. The mission? Call out the Carters for allegedly rigging the Grammys.
This is why I was saying I knew what old boy was doing.
Right.
With the Super Bowl. Because he was doing like,
Yeah, go
he
ahead.
was doing some wild because he was saying that to Eminem that the NFL had the issue with me. And I'm like, well, what's the issue? Why don't I have an issue when I'm becoming a partner in the actual team, but they got an issue with my performance? Like, makes no sense. You know
So
what I mean?
I was going to get to that later, but since we're here now. And when he says "oh boy" for the audience, that
Yeah, it's
I'm
Jay.
talking about Jay-Z.
Hmm.
This was discussed before. Jay-Z told Dr. Dre, just for people who's not up on this, or Eminem, that he didn't want you to perform part of that Super Bowl they
Right.
had a couple years ago. Why do you think that is?
Well, I just think,
Threatened,
yeah,
possibly?
not even threat. You know, I think it's just when you take the competition from like our culture is competitive, man.
Right.
It is, but I think when it goes past the music itself to blocking things in business, then I don't understand that. Like right now, he's not even competing for a slot. You don't have a new song out that he want to be on the top 10 or top 5,
Right.
and you still competing. It just don't make sense. Like, what are we competing for?
Tell me.
What's the goal? Like this even like a lot of the even a lot of the competitive stuff, or what we would call it beef, right? And it changed. That terminology changed from when it's Biggie and Tupac, because we start saying the things that people would say that cause beef in the environment.
Right.
When before that they called it battling in our culture.
Right.
Right. Because that's what it is until it turns into some street shit. So when you're not competing for those things anymore, and you start looking and you're going, so what was the problem? You can't exactly remember what the problem was. That's what went through with Joe.
50 put Jay on blast, claiming he's been using his marriage to Beyoncé like a power card, manipulating awards, backroom handshakes, and politicking his way to the top. And this ain't just about industry games anymore. It's starting to look like a calculated takedown. Eminem has been saying this, calling out the Grammys for being rigged, pay to play, and run by people with hidden agendas. Then came Beyoncé's Cowboy Carter moment, finally winning Album of the Year, but not everybody's clapping. A lot of fans and even insiders are calling foul. They think Jay-Z pulled strings again, making sure she secured that top spot. And remember Jay-Z's speech last year? He stormed the Grammy stage, dragging the Recording Academy for overlooking Beyoncé for years. But the irony? He was accepting an award while calling them out. That moment had folks real confused. Was it outrage or was it just a setup for her win? The whole situation's looking real calculated now. That Grammy moment had fans straight up confused. Jay-Z's speech felt like he was playing both sides, criticizing the system while accepting their award. Like if he really thought the Grammys were corrupt, why still show up?
Andre Young, thank you, sir. All the doors that you opened, showed us that we can be rock stars. Seeing you on the Rolling Stone. Obviously, there's Run DMC with the Leathers and the Aerosmith. But when you came out west, you took it to a whole new level. Some of you don't belong in the category. Oh, no, that was it. No, when I get nervous, I tell the truth.
Why not walk away and shut it all down with a real boycott? That mixed signal just made everything look even more calculated. It had folks wondering, was he calling them out or just setting the stage for Beyoncé to finally get that win? Either way, it fed into the growing whispers that the Carters ain't just riding the wave. They're controlling it from behind the scenes with big money and quiet pressure. And let's be real, people in the industry been saying it for years. Grammy wins, not about talent, it's about power, politics, and who's plugged in. And no one's been louder about that truth than Eminem. He's called the whole thing a scam, loudly. And it ain't about losing. M said multiple times, If someone drops a better album, cool, they deserve it. What gets him heated is when the Grammys pretend he's in the running just to bait headlines and boost views, then snub him like it was always planned. That's the hustle he's tired of.
You have a few Grammys, but you feel like you had to sell your soul to get them. And you didn't know if you wanted it for the recognition or the trophies, but then what's the difference? You know, and that Grammys pretty much suck the blood of artists and nominate them, have them come to the shows. And
which they do. They do it every year. Yeah, and I'm just tired of seeing it. And for whatever reason, it's like they're always pitching this hint that you might win album of the year, which used to be a big deal. I don't think it's a big deal now.
And when folks asked if he'd ever joined the Grammy voting committee to try and change things from the inside, M shut it down fast. He said it wouldn't fix a damn thing. According to him, the winners are picked before the votes even matter. It's all smoke, mirrors, and fake hype to keep people watching. And guess who's backing him up all the way? 50 Cent. He's been just as loud, if not louder. He's not just calling the Grammys biased. He's saying they're rigged at the top and being run like a private club with secret rules and no accountability. This ain't just about trophies anymore. It's about calling out the whole machine. 50 Cent didn't bite his tongue. He said straight up that Jay-Z's Grammy wins got way more to do with who he married than his actual music. According to 50, it's not about bars, talent, or albums. It's about access and influence. He claimed the Recording Academy knows exactly what they're doing. As long as Jay and Beyonce show up, the ratings spike and more views means more money. So to keep that fame train running, awards and nominations get tossed their way like it's routine. It ain't about music anymore. It's about marketing. But 50 wasn't done. On the Flagrant podcast, he went off even harder. He doubled down saying Jay's Grammy streak has Beyonce written all over it. And then he dropped the bomb. He hinted their whole marriage might be a contract. Not about love, but power.
I watched 50. Same. 50 did not win Best New Artist at the Grammys.
There was nothing bigger than 50.
Nothing bigger, and nobody since maybe like Snoop came out the gate like that. My first album didn't do it. I never saw someone's first album and the wave happen like he had. And then he doesn't get it. And then I get up there another year, and what was it, the Eminem show? And it was like, whatever. I'm fine if I lose to Kanye or someone that I'm like, okay, I respect that. I know who that is, and Kanye has a huge following, and he's made a massive impact on music. Fine, I'm good with that. But don't get us all here to use your selling point for your show and stiff everybody every single time. And I said, after that point in time, I was like, don't ever ask me to here again. Please do not ask me. My answer is no for 100 million years. Never again will I go to the Grammy.
He suggested it's more business deal than romance. Two moguls staying together for control over the culture, not cuddles. And that theory is not coming from nowhere. Industry insiders have long whispered that Jay and Bey allegedly held back upcoming talent, making sure nobody got too close to their throne. Some artists just never got that spotlight, and now people are starting to connect the dots. These ain't just salty opinions either. Some of the wildest claims have come from folks with real access behind the scenes. One of the most shocking? That came from Beyonce's own former bodyguard, Uncle Ron. And what he had to say might just flip this whole narrative upside down. This ain't just a couple power moves. It's a full blueprint for domination. Right before he passed away from pneumonia, Beyonce's former bodyguard, Uncle Ron, made a chilling claim. He said he had solid proof that Jay-Z and Beyoncé destroyed careers and wrecked lives just to protect their empire. That shook fans bad and raised some serious questions.
But consider, joining the board and maybe you have a vote in it?
First of all, that vote is fake. That's not a real vote. That's not a real vote. They give it to who they want to give it to. They give it to their darlings. This got critical acclaim, but it sold 2 records. It ain't about always what you sell. I get that. Vanilla Ice, I understand. You know what I'm saying? But there comes a point where when an overwhelming something comes along that has this wave and impact on music, and you give it to Lada Dottie. Who? Lada Dottie. It's only Lada Dottie.
How far would the Carters really go to keep their throne? But Uncle Ron wasn't the only one sounding the alarm. Enter Jaguar Wright, former background singer for Jay-Z and easily one of his most fearless critics. She's been relentless for years, calling out things the industry's tried to keep buried. One of her biggest claims, that people close to Jay, like Harlem legend Big L, either lost their lives or got completely pushed out the game so Jay could rise without any obstacles. And Jaguar ain't budging. She's been standing on that claim loud and clear. Let's pause and look at Big L's story, because it's heavy. Back in the early 90s, Big L was running Harlem's underground hip-hop scene. His bars were razor sharp, his freestyles legendary. He signed to Columbia Records, dropped a strong debut, and even after the label dropped him, he wasn't done. He bounced back strong and built his own label from scratch. That move got the attention of Dame Dash, co-founder of Rockefeller, and Big L looked ready for his next chapter. But just when things started rising again, tragedy hit. On February 15th, 1999, Big L was shot and killed in a drive-by in Harlem. No arrests, no closure. The case remains unsolved to this day. But Jaguar Wright doesn't think it was some random act. She suspects there was way more to it, and even hinted Jay-Z might have been involved. Her words, "See how good I keep secrets."
When he started to receive the 16 17 Grammys since he's been with Beyonce. Right? And you go, prior to that, 1.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that came in association, like you see the kids even have Grammys. Like they don't sing yet. They don't sing.
Right.
They don't rap yet. And they already have Grammys. So it's like they give them this trophy so we secure that they're coming to the award show. It meant that much to the culture that they just gave them the things they would. Later, to me, I didn't care about trophies. I said, I'll get the checks.
That cryptic line lit the internet on fire, and now people are combing through old interviews, old beefs, and looking at Jay-Z's rise with completely new eyes. Sean was firing shots directly at Jay-Z, but that ain't the only beef that's been simmering for years. Let's talk about DMX, one of the few legends alongside 50 Cent who had no fear going straight at Hov's neck. When Jay-Z became president of Def Jam in 2004, DMX had already run up 5 straight #1 albums from 98 to 03. He was untouchable, but just as he started gearing up for album number 6, Year of the Dog, again, something changed. The energy shifted, and not in a good way. DMX later claimed that Jay-Z himself delayed the album's release, allegedly to make space for his own comeback. That didn't sit right with X, and it only added fuel to the rumors that Jay was willing to block anyone in his way to keep his crown intact. But that was just the tip of the iceberg. In 2005, DMX dropped a chilling track called The Industry, and he didn't hold nothing back. It was a raw expose on the dark side of music, calling out everything from rigged deals to sabotage happening behind closed doors. What's wild?
When Jay signed his contract, the big one was with Beyonce. When he signed that contract, the marriage contract, he got trophies. Now those fucking trophies, trophies came rolling in, buddy. He started getting Grammys left and right, man. I mean, look, if you look at his career,
You're gonna let him say that? Jay was getting Grammys.
He had one.
Exactly.
He had one.
And he ain't show up.
He has like 20 now.
Hold on.
He had like 18 since he been down. Look, he had one, bro. Hard Knock Life.
Hold on. You're not wrong.
He was one.
At the same time.
He's like drinking his pictures with him like thinks the cup.
Wait a minute. So you're saying the success is derived from the marriage?
I've absolutely been treated differently.
The accolades. Because he's no longer viewed as what, like a street or gangster rapper. Now he's viewed as a businessman, entrepreneur, family man.
And the biggest ones because of the position Beyonce's.
Oh, wow.
Right? You were connected to the biggest.
Jay got. Oh, wow. So that's the deal.
Yeah, that's the deal. Like, the other ones didn't count as much as that one did.
Most of what he warned about back then is still happening today. Those bars hit different now. And then there's Irv Gotti. He didn't hold back either. Irv once said straight up, Jay-Z was jealous of DMX. He claimed Jay and his mentor, Lyor Cohen, would laugh behind X's back, thinking he'd never make it. But the joke flipped real fast because DMX blew up and earned a fan base that's still solid to this day. Same kind of shady vibe seemed to follow Beanie Siegel too, another artist who was once close to the throne, but somehow ended up in the shadows. Every time someone got too close to shining beside Jay, things got messy real quick. And now people are starting to question, is it all coincidence or a pattern? Beanie Siegel kept it real. He said something always felt off, like invisible hands were holding him back from leveling up. And one moment stood out big time. Jay-Z allegedly dropped his own albums around the exact same time as Beanie's, cutting into his spotlight and eating up the sales window. That kind of timing, Beanie didn't think it was just coincidence. Now Beanie's honest, he admitted his own legal drama slowed him down, but even with that, he made it clear, Jay's moves weren't random. According to him, Jay was strategic. It was like there was a ceiling that Beanie wasn't allowed to break through, no matter how hot he got. And let's not pretend Beyoncé is just watching from the sidelines. While some fans love to paint her as the quiet queen behind Jay's decisions, it's hard to believe someone that smart and powerful stayed in the game this long without being part of the master plan. People have started calling them a power couple with a pattern, one that allegedly silences anyone who gets too close to their throne. And there are real stories fans point to as proof. One of the wildest, when Beyoncé left Destiny's Child and started linking up with Jay-Z, word spread that Jay allegedly made a major move, snatching producer Rich Harrison away from rising R&B star Amiri. Why? Because insiders say Amiri was seen as a serious threat to Beyoncé's solo takeover. And here's the kicker, Amiri's hit One Thing dropped first, and it had the exact same bounce and go-go energy that made Crazy in Love a smash. A lot of fans believe Beyoncé's anthem was heavily inspired by that sound, and Jay made sure his girl had the winning version. Coincidence? Or was someone pulling strings in the background to clear the lane?
How did you stay so guarded within your career?
This is what I did. I said, no, I'm good, thank you. No, thank you. Okay, so sometimes that doesn't translate as far as what you are allowed to have, what you have access to. You will be blackballed. You will be talked about. You will be on. You will be rumored about. But you have to stand strong on what you don't care for. It's not that serious to me, you know, if I have to sell my soul. I understand that I might have sacrificed something in the physical world, but the spiritual world is not worth it. You're okay. You don't need to do anything. What you need to do is protect every part of your life, your spirit especially, because everything else is connected to that. There are some people, not everyone, that have huge egos, you know, and awful mindsets towards men, towards women, towards people. And it's very difficult to be around. It's just very difficult. And the way they define success is not your idea of success.
It's moves like that that got people saying this empire wasn't just built with talent, it was protected with chess-level precision. And then there's Carrie Hilson, whose entire career got thrown into chaos after her clash with Beyoncé turned into a full-blown disaster. According to reports, Carrie was allegedly set up by her own producers, who tricked her into recording a track that sounded like it was throwing shots at Bey. The infamous line, "How you stay on top without writing your own songs?" Carrie later denied that it was meant for Beyoncé, but by then, the damage was done. Things got even messier when Carrie refused to hold up a magazine cover featuring Beyoncé and Jay-Z during a red carpet moment. That one move, it reignited the whole storm. The Bey Hive unleashed, online hate, non-stop dragging, and even reports of Carrie getting harassed in real life. It wasn't just internet trolling, it felt like a full-blown shutdown. And that's when people started asking real questions. Was this just fan outrage? Or was someone orchestrating the fallout? Whispers in the industry claim Beyoncé had a direct hand in the entire setup. Some insiders said she engineered the drama, having Carrie's team bait her into dropping that track, then standing back while the backlash ruined her name. Beyoncé walked away looking polished and unbothered, while Carrie's career took a massive hit. And years later, Carrie herself admitted the pressure was real. In a 2020 interview, she opened up about how she felt forced into releasing the track, and even said the threats she got afterward were no joke. That wasn't just career heat, it was personal. So now people are asking, was this another case of Beyoncé protecting her throne at any cost? Or was Carrie Hilson just caught in the crossfire of a machine that doesn't tolerate competition? Either way, the fallout was brutal, and the scars still show. Was this just another celebrity beef, or something way more calculated? because it's not just competition, these stories keep stacking up. And we definitely can't skip over Kellis, who came forward accusing Beyoncé of flat-out disrespect after her iconic track Milkshake was sampled, without her knowledge or credit. Kellis said she didn't even know the sample was used until fans started tagging her online, flooding her socials with clips. Her reaction? Shock. She called it disrespectful, careless, and ignorant. In her own words, "I heard about this the same way everyone else did." But she didn't stop there. Kellis went off saying, "Nothing is ever as it seems. Some of the people in this business have no soul or integrity, and they have everyone fooled." That statement hit hard, and fans immediately started side-eyeing Beyoncé's team. Later on Instagram, Kellis opened up even more, and this time, it wasn't just about legal rights, it was personal. She said, "We're both black women in a male-dominated industry. There's not that many of us. We met. We know each other. We even have mutual friends." That connection made the silence even louder. For Kellis, this wasn't about contracts or paperwork. It was about basic respect. She made it clear. A simple call would have changed everything. It was about principle, about decency. But instead of owning it or offering a public apology, Beyoncé's team took a different route. They quietly removed the milkshake sample, and that was it. No statement, no acknowledgement, just vanished, like it never happened. That kind of cold silence, it spoke volumes, and it left fans asking, was this really just a mistake, or another move in a pattern of silencing voices that challenged the throne? And that only added more fuel to the fire, because it's starting to look like these power plays in the industry happen quietly, behind closed doors, with zero accountability. Another name that always pops up in these conversations, Mia. Word is Mia was allegedly blackballed after she reportedly turned down Jay-Z's advances. She never named names, but in multiple interviews, she kept it real, talking about how some people at the top misuse their power and create a dangerous environment, especially for young artists just trying to chase their dreams. She said something a lot of folks don't realize until it's too late. You don't always know what you're giving up until you've already given it. And when asked how she stayed grounded, Mia said she simply said no and walked away. But walking away came with a price. She hinted that turning down certain people led to being blacklisted, getting shut out, silenced, and having her name dragged through the mud. So let's be real. There's a growing list of respected artists who believe Jay-Z and Beyoncé didn't just climb to the top. They protected that position with power moves, gatekeeping, and calculated control. From 50 Cent and Eminem to Kellis, DMX, Beanie Siegel, Mia, and more, these aren't just random claims. These are major names with insider knowledge saying they were blocked, baited, or pushed out for getting too close to the spotlight. And the wildest part, this list probably ain't even complete. So what do you think? Could there be real truth behind these accusations? Are Jay-Z and Beyoncé using their influence to shut down competition behind the scenes? And how many other voices got silenced before we even noticed? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Who do you think got blackballed? Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the real stories. We've got more coming, and it's only getting messier from here. See you in the next video.